Welcome to Sporting News Audio. My name is David A. Arnott here with Chris Bahr, and we've got a very special show for a very special game in Major League Baseball, and that's the All-Star Game, the Midsummer Classic. Voting is going to wrap up this weekend, and we have some very interesting results going on in the All-Star voting, most recently announced this week. But also, we're going to talk about some of the guys that we think probably should be going, maybe ahead of some of these guys that are in the top 5 of the voting. So, Chris, what is probably the most interesting thing that you noticed when you looked at the voting for the National League and the American League?
Well, I think for the most part I have very few arguments with people, but I think the thing that jumps out at me is maybe the depth at first base and third base in both leagues. I mean, you're going to have some very good players who aren't even going to make it as reserves, and I think that's probably the toughest two positions in each league to kind of sort through the worthy players.
Okay, so who are some of those guys that you're seeing right now that would be deserving in just about any other year, but are probably to be left out in the cold?
Well, in the American League at first base, I think my choice would be Miguel Cabrera, and he's third right now in the voting behind Morneau and Teixeira, and even behind him further is Kevin Youkilis, who's having a great season, and he's fourth right now. So if they go 4 deep, he's there. If not, he's left out. And the National League, same thing. Pujols obviously is going to win the voting there. He's having a great year as usual. Not as great as usual, but a great year. And you've got, Ryan Howard there. You got Prince Fielder there. You've got Troy Glaus, who's having a great year for the Braves. Joey Votto, who's got, close to 20 home runs already. So there's 5 guys right there who all deserve it and won't all make it. Third base, the same thing. Adrian Beltre, the Red Sox, is fourth in the voting, but probably having the best year of anybody in that league. In the National League, David Wright's second behind Polanco. He'll probably make it because Polanco's hurt, but Wright's having a great bounce-back year, and he's not even leading the voting. And then, Casey McGahee, who's ranked among the leading RBI guys all year, is fifth right now.
So, and this comes down to one of the major issues with the All-Star Game that was brought up during Bud Selig's tenure, which is, quote-unquote, making it count. It's going to have an effect on which league has home field advantage in the World Series. And I've always thought since that happened that the All-Star Game as an exhibition game should stay an exhibition game. It's the sort of thing where it's a popularity contest and the fans are seeing the guys who they want to see, not necessarily who experts or even they would say are the best players. Agreed.
I still think, the best way to treat this, as you said, is as an All-Star Game, not as a World Series, a factor in the World Series. So I know they've expanded the rosters. They've done a better job now of getting more deserving players there. They've taken precautions, about running out of players. So, you're going to see 34 guys there who deserve to be there for the most part, with maybe a couple exceptions from teams that are in last place and don't really deserve to send somebody there. But I would agree. I think if this is going to become a popularity contest, and it is a popularity contest, that it should be a lot less on the line than home field advantage at the World Series.
So I'm hoping that Andres Torres, the Giants center fielder, gets a spot, and I do think he deserves to go there, though there are a lot of outfielders in the National League that are very popular and deserve to go also. What players are you most forward looking to see get on that bid stage?
I would have said Jason Hayward, but he's hurt, and he said he's not going to play. Andre Ethier is a guy who's never been an All-Star, probably should have been by now. And, another guy we didn't talk about in the voting is Corey Hart, who's leading the National League in home runs, I believe, and he's not even in the top 15 in the voting. So he's a guy who I'd like to see out there. A lot of these guys, too, Austin Jackson is another one, a rookie. A lot of these, rookies who are just coming out of nowhere, having great seasons, just tremendous success in their first year. Any rookie who gets there, and that could include Steven Strasburg. I'll look forward to seeing all those guys there.
Any chance that Strasburg starts the game?
I don't think so. I think Jimenez from the Rockies is going to start, but I still think there's a chance Strasburg pitches. They've got the rule this year that if you pitched on Saturday or Sunday before the game, you're not going to be eligible for the All-Star Game. So I think that's how Strasburg will make it if he makes it, because there's going to be a few guys who drop out. And, I think it's a popularity contest and people love Strasburg. So if there's a chance to come on the roster, I think Charlie Manuel will put him there.
Chris Bahr, thanks for joining us on Sporting News Audio.
You bet.